listening to the voices behind Women's Cricket Chat. That's Alex, Hannah, Georgie and Cassie. Coming up on today's podcast, we've got Southern Vipers and England international Maia Bouchier. Now, we sat down and spoke to Maia about what a whirlwind summer of cricket it's been, including her getting to the final of the 100 with Southern Brave, doing the double of the Heyhoe Flint trophy with the Vipers, and making her England T20 debut. Not only that, we talked to Maia about her experience of being picked for the Melbourne Stars and what it's like being a regional player playing in the Women's Big Bash. Just a note to say that this was recorded before the Women's Big Bash started.
You know us, we know you. Women's Cricket Chat, talking to Maia Bouchier today. We wanted to chat all things women's cricket, your career, where you've gone from here, how you got to where you are, and just basically have a catch up because we love chatting cricket, women's cricket in particular, hence the name. And so welcome to Women's Cricket Chat, Maia Bouchier from the isolation wonders of Down Under. Yeah, welcome. You're with me, Georgie and Alex today.
Thank you. Nice to be here and nice to talk to you guys.
Yeah, well, we're pretty chuffed you would have us. I was like, she's in isolation. She can't escape us now.
I have nowhere else to go.
Ooh, ouch. I was like, yeah, you must have some free hours in your day. You could slot us in.
Oh, yeah, of course. No, I mean, chatting, of course, yeah. I just can't go out my room, so.
Do they post the food through the letterbox, like Harry Potter kind of style, you know?
You hear a knock and then you have to wait 3 minutes before you can actually go out your door to then pick it up and then take it into your room. And you have to wear your mask every time you open your door.
Well, like, surely your food is getting cold by then.
I know, exactly. So I'm always ready to go out to open the door just when they've left. So it's not actually 3 minutes.
Hey, look, it's just you peeping through the letterbox, waiting for them. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, there's a little peephole you can look through. So
really funny. That's really good. Yeah. So obviously you're coming off the back of the most amazing summer of women's cricket. You just casually did the double with the Vipers, and yes, we know I'm a Vipers fan. I have my Vipers shirt up there, but that's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I'm moving house. Apologies.
Love to see it.
Oh, where is it? There it is. There it is.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah, it is next to an Invincibles bucket hat. Apologies.
Oh, no.
I know. Yeah, so back of an amazing summer for women's cricket. You've done the double with the Vipers. You reached the final of the inaugural 100, and now you're off to play with the Melbourne Stars. So what was this summer like for you?
Well, it was pretty hectic, to be honest. It was great to start the year with the Vipers, and obviously we didn't get too far we got to the final in the Charlotte Edwards. This is the finals day, the Charlotte Edwards Cup. But yeah, no, of course, the Heyhoe Flint trophy final was pretty intense, I think. There's probably the word that most people would describe it as. We were just watching on the sidelines, hoping, obviously, to get past the line, and obviously Tara and Emily Windsor did unbelievably well to get us there, so congrats to them too as well. Yeah, no, and obviously the 100 was amazing, just to be able to play in front of those crowds. It was just like nothing I've ever kind of experienced before. But then yeah, to get to the final as well, seems to be like I'm in a lot of finals, which is great. We always love that,
especially when you win them.
Yes, especially when you win them. I've obviously been close to 2 finals, but the 100 final was a hard day. So hopefully that won't happen next year. We can actually win. But yeah, the Heyhoe Flint trophy, that was something special. I think to come off last year with a win and then to retain the trophy was just amazing. And I couldn't be more proud of the rest of the girls. So. Oh my gosh, of course. There's so much going on. Yeah, so England, the debut was incredible. Obviously coming off the 100 and scoring a couple of runs in that middle order. I settled into that role quite easily, I think, and especially with the experiencent professional players in front of me. And it was great to see how everyone worked, all the players, the international players, how they did their thing, went about their training, and obviously got to know them really well. So yeah, it was great.
And obviously we all saw on Instagram you receiving your cap from Danny Wyatt, and you do obviously play with her at Southern Vipers. What was it like for you and that moment?
I didn't know who would actually present my cap. I was a bit in between two, but Danny, of course. Danny, she's just been an amazing friend and teammate, and also role model. I've always looked up to her, so I was just very proud to kind of be in that moment and share that with her as well. And her receiving notes from my dad and my family, that was even more special. So yeah, she was amazing, and it was great to shake her hand and get the cap from her and receive the cap from her. So
you're allowed to shake hands. Oh, what a world.
Yeah, it's not COVID in the team everywhere else.
And when you were called up to the England squad, you were also called up with your Southern Vipers teammate Charlie Dean. How did that moment feel for the both of you?
I was just happy that she was. I mean, I had a friend, and actually a really good friend and teammate coming in with me, because you know the atmosphere in going into the England environment is quite different. So we didn't want to, we wanted to stick together a bit and make sure we were okay and keep chatting to each other. And it was great because we know most of the girls anyway, and I know Sarah Glenn and quite a lot of the other girls like Dunks and Sophia Dunkley quite well. So we both fit in really well with that group, and obviously we knew them very well in terms of their cricket skills, and they could help us, and that was really helpful. So yeah.
And it's nice that you've got quite a group of youngsters. I sound like such an old person. Like youngsters coming through, but then you have got some of the legends of the game still there. You've got your Catherine Brunts, your Heather Knights, and then you have said before that you wanted to be the next Nat Siver. So what's it like to now be playing alongside her? Does she remind you of that? But like, you could be the next me.
I don't think she'd ever say that. But no, yeah, it was great to obviously be around those girls and actually chat to them, and have advice, be given advice from, the one and only Catherine Brunt. I'm still a bit kind of gobsmacked that I'm playing with these girls and being able to train and actually chat with them about cricket, because I feel like sometimes don't really talk about cricket a lot with your other friends. If you're in a cricket team, you'll talk about cricket a bit, but with Nat and Catherine and Heather, they were all amazing in terms of giving me advice, and especially under the floodlights. And when we played in Taunton, I'd never played really under floodlights before, and Catherine was really helpful in terms of fielding and just not getting too down about how dropping catches, because it's very difficult.
What about her advice on sledging?
On sledging, that's just her as herself. Like she'll just get. We all get frustrated, but we all know how Catherine gets when she's frustrated. So
I think it's determination, isn't it? That's quite.
It's determination, determination and passion for the sport, and passion to do well and obviously win, because that's what all of us want to do. So.
And we can't not talk about the 100 just a little bit.
No,
obviously.
Okay.
There were record crowds for a load of matches. How did you find playing in front of big crowds in comparison to the regional crowds?
Well, I think it was quite difficult at first, because I don't think any of us knew the scale of crowds that would come in and watch us. It was all a bit surprising that we'd have sold out stadiums, and at the biggest the biggest cricket grounds in the UK and the world. But yeah, in front of the crowds, it was very nerve-wracking to start with. I think the first game we played, I was super nervous and just wanting to obviously do well. But once I'd settled into getting used to those crowds, I think it was much easier to actually perform and stay confident and talk to my partner, whoever it was. And being on the field, being surrounded by that noise was just incredible. It was kind of like being in a football game, but not a football game.
What was it like coming out through that arch, when it had your name and you sort of came out through the gladiator thing?
The last thing I wanted to do was trip, because I felt like I was just going to trip, and it was just not going to go very well.
What an end that would be, though.
How it would just be so embarrassing.
You would be a meme, let's be honest.
I would be. Yeah, I think, no, it was great.
Maia Bouchier. There you go. You got a new name now.
No, with the team coming out, especially the whole team coming through the arch, that was pretty special, because we were all there just, big names, but also big team vibes, and always wanting to be, positive and really attacking and in our mindset and everything. So we were all just really buzzed together.
And it must have been nice to have your Southern Vipers coach, Charlotte Edwards, as your coach for the Southern Brave. How comforting is it to know that you've got your Southern Vipers coach as your Southern Brave one? And what sort of words of wisdom did she offer to you guys?
So I think it was quite, actually, I really, obviously I love Charlotte Edwards. I love her as a coach, as a person, as a friend, actually. She just, and a mentor, she's been incredible to me over the last couple of years, especially with the Kia Super League, and, you know, her putting her faith in me and having confidence in me has just pushed me so far. And she's so she's so confident that I'm going to do really well, and like, you know, I want support, and that's great. And obviously I need to actually perform, but when I do perform, it's because I have that support from her, and I have that support from my teammates, and I'm just clear with what I'm doing. But yeah, obviously she's just a legend. And I think one of the things she said was just go and have fun, and don't, you know, it's a new competition. You're going to have some bad days, you can have some good days, but just go and have fun, and, you know, really be aggressive with what you're doing, no matter what it is. Be confident, go out and smash it like I did at Lord's. And yeah, I think she was just proud of us, proud of what we'd done in the first competition, and hopefully we can just take that on to next year and actually beat whoever it is in the final.
And so obviously you've got her as your coach there and your coach at Vipers, but you must have grown up seeing her actually out in the middle, captaining England, doing her thing. So would you say she was one of your role models growing up that got you into cricket?
I would say, instead of I wouldn't say she is a role model to me. She always has been. I would say I think she's more of a mentor now. She was a role model when I was growing up, because every time, you know, I was watching England play, and her batting style, and batting is my forte, and she just kind of learning off her and watching her bat, just see how late she plays. She doesn't even try to hit the ball hard. And then, you know, she used to run really well between the wickets, and that was something I've always wanted to do well in as well. So I think in terms of her just being a role model, and just being able to watch all the women play has been incredible. And I actually held her hand when I was about 9 years old at Wormsley to walk her out to one of the games she was playing. I think it was like a local 11, and that was a really special moment for me. I don't think she will remember that, but that would be something there's a picture of me my dad took of me looking up at her whilst holding her hand.
You've got to send us that. We've got to see that, because
I don't know.
Also, do you ever remind her of that and be like, hey Charlotte, you want to feel old today? Remember when I was 9?
No, I don't think she'll remember that. But I think she came to one of our like under 15 England kind of weeks, like Radley and Wellington, to be a judge for our singing competition or like dance competition. And I have a picture of that from then with her back then, and I think she remembers that. So maybe I'll bring that up in conversation.
Did you win?
Yes, we did win.
Oh, good. Okay.
My team won.
That's why you brought it up. You're like, I didn't come on to talk about cricket. I want to talk about my new singing career.
I think we sang, what's it called? When you like don't look at, oh no, I can't remember. That's really embarrassing. But no, it was good fun. And obviously Charlotte's just always been there, and I've just always looked up to her. So I can't wait for future years, her as my coach and mentor, really.
And obviously visibility now is a lot different compared to when you were growing up and watching Charlotte. How have you found that, being recognised, so to speak?
Yeah, I think kind of during like school and county years, I always thought it was just, you know, we're going to play our games, and, you know, parents are going to come watch us. That's fine. That's good fun for them and families, you know, sisters and brothers. But then people I didn't know coming to watch our games and actually thinking, oh, I could actually do this, or young girls coming up to me and asking lots of questions about my batting and who I'm playing for and where I want to be. And it's a bit, I feel like it's quite rewarding for me as well, and just being able to like help these girls and help anyone who's coming into the game and wants to join up. And obviously with all the girls the international girls and the domestic players coming onto the scene, they can, the visibility of the game is progressing and it's just getting even better. And hopefully it will keep improving over the next couple of years, especially with the 100 and, all the domestic games being online and streaming and the final being on Sky Sports. And that's always going to be helpful. And, it's just going to encourage more girls to come and play and just join up. And it doesn't even have to be, you don't have to be very, I wasn't very good at it to start with. I literally just had to pick up a bat and face my brother bowling at me. That's how it started. So I think, yeah, it would be great if, we can see more girls just joining in. And that's you can see that with the All-Stars and just with the 100 as well, with the players going to schools and helping out and them seeing what it's like as to see a professional cricketer. So.
And just on that visibility, how did you find having a content creator embedded in your team during the 100? Because it's obviously quite a new experience and perhaps at regional level, you might not have that exposure.
Yeah, no, I think it was great because the girl who was our media person, doing all the content, I know her quite well, and she's very much, she knows what's going on in the kind of latter stages, and I think she knows exactly what kind of content we should be putting out, which is great.
Our only Cassie Coombs.
Cassie Coombs. And what a legend, because I used to play with her or play against her.
She is part of our women's cricket chat team though, so big up the girl.
Big up the girl, exactly. And she was great because I've known her for a while, so she was just really kind of encouraging and helping us get out little skills, and obviously during training and seeing what we get up to, and then also on off days what people get up to, so like playing golf or kind of doing other things. And the Lego also was pretty insane. I don't know how they've done that, but Lego is like one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, so obviously it was great to have someone like Cassie to film everything and just put it out there and see what people think of us, and hopefully they think well and think that we're professional enough to be in the media, I guess. But yeah, no, obviously all the 100 games and seeing all the crowds and filming all the players, yeah, no, it was pretty cool. So hopefully we can get that more in regional cricket. That would just boost the interest, and hopefully, yeah, we'll actually have one at the end in a couple of years, maybe, or maybe next year. Who knows?
And you mentioned things that you do in your spare time, like people playing golf, whatever. Obviously, you've been playing football across your winters, but this year you're down in Australia playing cricket. How come cricket, not football, or has it been quite fun to be able to balance the two? Do you think they help each other?
Well, actually, I had to stop playing football because of cricket, which was a bit of a shame because I was playing at uni and I really loved it. But, cricket is always what I've wanted to do, and football has always been a part of my life. I started with my brothers and everything. So it was great to have that side during university. And obviously when it started getting really kind of intense, and that was what I wanted to do. And I was spending a lot of time training, and I had to do more training and spend more time training. Then they said, we don't want you to get injured, so please stop, basically. But it's fine because, that's a sacrifice I've had to make. And you know what, it's probably just made it better that I've been able to focus on my cricket. And I mean, look where I am now. I'm going to be playing in the Big Bash, which I never thought would happen. It's been a dream for 5 years now. And Lottie said to me last year, so I was thinking of going away at the beginning of this year before COVID happened, and 2 years ago. And she said, oh, you never know, Big Bash, couple of years. And I just said, oh, okay, yeah, no, that would be amazing if I can. And yeah, after the 100, getting those phone calls, I just was kind of gobsmacked. Just that it was just happening all at the same time. But yeah, no, I'm so excited to be a part of it and meet all the girls as well. We've all had our Swede loss during quarantine.
Yeah, and so it seems like it's one of those things that's sort of been a couple of years coming. None of us can remember what is last year, what's the year before or anything. But 2020, you had a bit of a setback, didn't you? When you had to adapt your bowling action because it was deemed, we can't have this, we can't have that. Can you talk us through that one and what it was like, and what it was like trying to change in action that you've been doing your whole life?
Yeah, so I'd had problems with it before. So at around kind of 15, 16, I was part of the England development program, and I hadn't really been, I'll just tell you the whole story. I hadn't really been kind of noticed until I got to about that age when it was quite obvious, and I had to get tested for it. And it was very, the angles weren't great. I'll just say that. It was like a throw. So I had to go away and work on it it's taken a while. It took me about 4 or 5 years to actually really drill the correct technique, and a lot of strength and kind of glutes and hammy work that I had to really build up that strength for the bowling. When I got tested again, that was right after bowling in the final. So I had to have a retest after kind of a couple years ago, 3 years ago. And then after the final, I had to get retested because I got sighted again. Obviously, everyone's seen that. And over the winter, I've just been working on the basics and just kind of ironing out those little, not mistakes, but just things I can just change a little bit in my action. And that's obviously helped because I worked very hard over the winter to get that right. And then I was cleared before the 100, which was great. And I didn't realize how much of an effect it would actually have on me after all the kind of the articles and people asking me a lot. And I don't think I was in the best state. But then once I kind of really put my mind to it and started working over the winter, I just became more confident, and I was actually less worried about what people were saying then and just focusing on what I could do about it. And then it kind of paid off in the end. And getting that email saying you've been cleared was great.
You got that email like framed on the wall, you know?
I should actually do that. I haven't done that yet.
That'd be jokes. Yeah, so like you say, it must have been really tough time for you because you're still so young, and at the time you're on your way, you know, you're looking ahead to England. Obviously that is the goal, and then you get a stop like that, and it's not an injury, it's one of those things that you obviously have got such a good mindset on that, you know, control the controllables, do what I can to change that. How else did you get through that? Did you have support from people? Did you rely on family? Was it coaches?
Oh yeah, so much. My family, my dad, he's always been there. My mum's always encouraging me and just making sure that I'm okay. And I always talk to people. I'm trying to talk to people. I don't really talk a lot about my kind of personal feelings to people, but I've been learning to do that a bit more, especially with, you know, what happened with the bowling and kind of university as well, because that all took a bit of a toll. Going into third year and having to also do my bowling, and yeah, there was a lot going on, but I think it was great to have, obviously all the staff was very supportive, and they were helping with me with my schedules and making sure I was getting enough done and getting my work done and getting training done. And yeah, I think the whole support staff at Vipers, even at kind of ECB, they also helped me, which was great. But obviously now we're moving more towards regional cricket. We're kind of stuck with them, which is great. So I can actually have someone to really work with. And my private coach as well, Wes, he's been amazing. I've had him for the last maybe 4 years. So he's been the kind of main driver to work who I've been working with. And yeah, no, I had so much support from everyone. So it was just great to be able to have that and be able to talk to people about what was going through my head and what I needed to kind of say to work on. I took a bit more control, I guess.
The university is hard at the best of times, but you're also playing cricket alongside it. And you went to Oxford Brookes, didn't you?
Yeah.
So how did you manage playing cricket alongside your degree?
So I think for the first year of uni, it wasn't too bad because I didn't really have as much cricket as I've been doing. But first year I think it was more a bit of fun. Second year and third year was a bit harder because we were doing online lectures, and my degree is a very practical degree, so it's actually very different to what we had to do. So quite a lot of our assessments were online kind of coaching plans and very specific, whereas in the actual practicals, they're not that specific. It's more what happens on the day. So I think that was quite I had to adapt quite quickly in terms of what we had to do. But we had a lot of help, which was great. So I was able to balance. I was making sure that my lecturers knew what times my training were, and then they actually could give me I could have a Zoom call with them after and chat through what happened in the lecture. And obviously it's online, so I get to see the lecture and listen and type it up or write it out. So it was actually better that it was all online and I was able to catch up, even if it was during training, because the trainings from last year during the winter, we were training 3 hours every couple of days, twice a week. But I had other time. I actually had time because I had a job, but I was still trying to balance it all. I think I did it pretty well. I mean, I didn't, I could have done better in my university degree if I worked harder the year before that, but that's fine. I'm going to play cricket for England, hopefully.
You already are. So you're already there.
I am. Yeah, I am.
Just a piece of paper. The more important piece of paper is that printed off email saying you're good to play.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
I'm a burning building. We know which one you would save.
But it's good that I was still working hard for my uni degree as well as training. I think it got a bit of the better of me at a point where it was the end of the year and I was just very much struggling and bringing my work to cricket, which I shouldn't have done. Like I should just, if I'm very stressed. Lottie was really good. She was, if you've got things on, don't come to training. You can just come another time or do an extra day the next week. So they were really flexible with that, which was great. But yeah, no, came out with the high 2-2, so I couldn't be happier. And then came out with cricket, and this whole summer has been great because I haven't actually had to do much other than cricket. So I can spend a lot more time just focusing on that.
I also like the fact that you're one of the few cricketers who didn't go to Loughborough, because I feel like there's such an agenda that if you are a cricketer, then you have to go to Loughborough and do your education and all this and all that. But you're proving that you don't necessarily have to go there to still achieve your dreams, which is fabulous.
No, it is fabulous. I think, to be fair, I was very close to going to Loughborough College, but then a last minute decision, I just said, I don't want to go to Loughborough, I want to go somewhere else. Because firstly, they didn't have the course I wanted to do, but also I didn't really want to be up there. I feel like it's quite different, especially with all the cricket, I feel like it would be quite intense, but I was very lucky to be able to go to Brooks. It was very last minute, but I enjoyed it so much. I had the best time and I made the best friends. So I've made lifelong friends there, and it's great because, I'm still catching up with them and they're just so supportive of my cricket as well. They're just another group of people who have been unbelievably supportive of me. They've come to come watch some of the matches, some of the 100, some of the Vipers. So it's been amazing.
So are they going to be getting up at ridiculous times of the night to watch you in the Big Bash?
I said you're going to have to come. You're going to have to watch at like 7 a.m. or whatever it is to wake up early to watch me. But they'll do that. I'm pretty sure they will do that. So
on to why you are locked in a hotel room being fed through a cat flap.
Yes.
Journalistic license. It creates a nice vision in my head of them like posting it through a cat flap to you. So obviously you must be mega excited to sign for the Melbourne Stars. When do you get to actually join up with the squad?
In 4 days. I'm so excited. I'm literally 10 days into my quarantine. So I come out at midnight, just after midnight on Wednesday, which will be Tuesday afternoon for you guys, I think. So, and then the first game is actually the next day. So I'll have a day of day training session later that day, which will be fine. I'm just excited to be out of this room.
Have you got all your kit and everything already?
I haven't got any of that yet. I think they're giving it to me there. But I brought black pads and my bats. I've got 3 bats. So I brought a load of gloves as well because I know it's going to be a bit sweaty.
It must be so nice though that you've got the likes of Izzy Wong, Eve Jones, Lindsay Smith. All you guys are like a little. Although you're playing for different teams, it's like a nice little England clique, so to speak. So you guys FaceTime, and I've seen a couple of pictures on social media, and it's just what we love to see. We love to see that despite the fact that you guys play for different teams, that you're still really good mates.
Oh yeah, we'll always be good mates, and we're all in the same position. So it's great that we're all kind of keeping up each other, and played a quiz together this morning, which was very funny, very funny. And then Eve and I both seeing what's been happening outside. There's been some news people outside. I'll give you a bit of background. You might see my Instagram story. But the famous Aussie tennis player, Nick, I can't say his last name. Kyrgios, that's it. There's been a news thing about him, maybe that I think he's been cheating on his girlfriend or something. So they've been outside of our hotel, and because there's been newsmen and newswomen outside, Eve and I both got our pads on and just stood outside and lifted our bats up and and Wongi was just like, oh, you got to get on this, come on. Eve was already padded up when I got on the phone call, on the FaceTime. I was just like, what's going on?
I was going to suggest that as a joke, you should have dressed up, and you actually did.
I actually did. And I couldn't stop laughing. I was in my bucket hat. Eve was in her like Birmingham Phoenix cap. It was so funny, and we got pictures and everything, but because it's been all happening outside, we were just like outside. And Lottie actually is on the other side of Eve, so Eve's in the middle, so Lottie just looks out the window and we're both in our cricket kit. It was very funny.
The kind of insights we want, though, you know. What would be so funny is if you're in some like really random rogue local newspaper and someone had spotted you.
How funny would that be? I think there was news on today, but I'm not sure if that was.
Yeah, secretly you're scouring the news in the background, like, where am I? Where am I?
Exactly.
That's really funny. So yeah, like there's obviously a bunch of you down there. What are your hopes and prospects for the season in the Big Bash? Obviously, you'd be hoping to win, you know, go one better than the 100 this year.
Yes.
Big Bash has obviously it was sort of the pioneering thing for women's domestic game around the world, so it must be amazing to be part of that. And if you can go for the win in that, how cool would that be?
I mean, it'd be pretty insane. I know how much people, like all the girls from England, has been saying how good it is, what an opportunity it is to be out here and play, especially with the Australian players and domestic players, and see kind of what the difference is in terms of like development and the pathway that they've obviously had here, and helps that their summers are a bit more summery than ours. But yeah, no, I'm excited just to kind of meet everyone and be part of the squad. Obviously, meet all the staff as well, because the head coach Jared Loughman, he seems like a really good, like nice guy and passionate guy. So hopefully that will just keep me going, and hopefully we'll get some wins under our belt to start with.
Yeah, and obviously you say excited by your coach, and the Big Bash is full of some of the biggest stars in women's cricket. Who are you most excited to play against or alongside?
Well, when I knew Meg Lanning was playing for Melbourne Stars, I was in awe, to be honest. I've always wanted to, see how she plays, see how she trains. I feel like she's very committed, serious when she needs to be, which is, what you want in a captain as well. So, and obviously Elise Villani, and I mean, they're the players I'm playing with, so I'm very excited to play with them. I think I'm more excited to kind of play against like someone like Alyssa Healy and who else? Just a lot of the faster bowlers as well. Because I know that, I mean, obviously in the UK we don't have the fastest bowlers, but it'd be great to face them. And also, obviously, Wongi's coming. I'm going to be facing Wongi as well, so that'll be fun. See how that goes. But yeah, no, I'm just excited to kind of be around everyone, because I know we're all going to be in similar place. So I'll be able to have a chance to get to know other people, I think, from other teams, which would be fun. And yeah, I think just the whole Australian team, like Elise Perry, yeah, she's incredible. She's probably one of my role models.
You could probably go and play football with her too.
Oh yeah, see, and she played professional football.
Yeah,
I saw this
in the World Cup. She actually went to the school that I worked at when I was in Sydney, and they were like, she'd left by the time I was there, but they love her. I mean, so I
saw this video of her scoring a goal from like outside the box with her like left foot and like curled it into the top corner. I was like,
some people got it all.
That is a world class goal.
Some people got it all. That girl
has got it all.
Has got it all. Yeah,
she really does. But obviously, yeah, no, I'm excited to kind of just play and have fun and hopefully win.
And we spoke to Katie Levick a couple of weeks back about the Big Bash, and she was saying that generally regional players don't really get much of an opportunity to play in Australia or in the Big Bash. So how proud are you to have been selected to play for the Melbourne Stars, and how did that come about?
Well, I was just ecstatic to kind of hear from Lottie. I mean, Lottie was the person in between, saying that I've had calls from the Australian coaches and there might be a strange man on the end of the phone calling you in the next half an hour. So strange Australian man. I didn't know who Jared was at the time, but yeah, I think it was all really fast, but just amazing that it happened to me. I mean, I've worked really hard this year, so hopefully and it paid off, which is great. Obviously my England debut and the 100, it all kind of just bundled up into one and helped me to get that contract. And they were really, really keen on the phone. You know, they said, "Oh, we really want you to come out here. We've been watching you. You know, you can hit the ball really hard." And I was like, "Yep, I've been working on that a lot." So yeah, no, it's great that they have opportunities for regional players to come over. Obviously, with the Pakistan tour being cancelled, the England Stars would have come. But I think it was great that they've been able to see the regional players who are in the mix with the England players and see who's actually performed in the 100, in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, Rachel Heyhoe Flint. Everyone has been excited to be a part of it and to show what they can do. So that this is just a kind of an accumulation of what's been happening over the last 2 years, specifically with regional players. So, I mean, I'm happy to be with some of the England girls, because I didn't even think that many of them would be able to come, but some of these girls they're just great people, and I'm sure they'll have as much fun as I will playing alongside some of the greatest players. So
yeah, and I think that's the best way to learn. You know, you play with and against some of the greatest people. And then obviously there's been a bit of talk about why is there not yet a women's IPL? What are your thoughts on that? Would you play in one of those if it came along?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, the IPL is huge. Even obviously with COVID, it's a bit of a shame because there's no crowds, but hardly any crowds. But what it's been like before, I've been to 2 IPL games, and I can feel it in my body how much noise there is, and there's just, the atmosphere is just incredible. If that could actually happen with women's games, that would be insane. I'm sure there'll be loads of Indian, Pakistanis, everyone coming to games. English people, if they're in India, probably quite a few right now. But yeah, I'm sure that it'll be a big thing for everyone as well, because I feel it'll be a bit similar to the 100, because they'll have international players but also domestic players and regional players who will come over. And, you know, if the opportunity comes along, if someone drops out, there's always space for another person to come in. So that's the opportunity that we'll get. So I'm hoping it happens.
And looking ahead post WBBL, what are your hopes for the future with England? Are you looking at getting a spot in the Ashes, looking further ahead to the World Cup? Or are you just taking everything as it comes and just really excited to be playing cricket after COVID?
I guess, yeah, to be honest, both of those. I'm so happy that we've been able to play. We've been very lucky to be able to play and be allowed to play during COVID. But this year with the 100 and what's been happening and just the coverage that we've been getting, I'm hoping that, you know, if I can do well in the Big Bash, then who knows, it could go on to more T20s with England. I'm hoping that I get selected a bit more for the T20s. But also I want them to see that I'm a really keen ODI player as well. I haven't scored many runs this year ODI-wise, but I think ODIs are probably more of my game than T20s. And hopefully if with, you know, next year, if I can score more runs and do well in the Big Bash, hopefully they'll consider me in the Ashes and the World Cup. The Ashes would be amazing. I love long formats. Long formats are my favourite. Test cricket is just brilliant to watch.
Is Test cricket the dream then?
Test cricket is the dream, definitely. Yes. I mean, even with, you know, watching the England men, I'll just happily sit down for 5 days and watch cricket. Like, who? Not very many people do that. But
when you find yourself like matching up your tea time and lunchtime to what they're doing on TV, and then you're like,
exactly. And then I'm just happy to just sit and, learn from what they're saying, and it's great to listen to what they're saying, and all the analysis they do is so pinpoint and specific, and that's great because that's what we need in women's cricket and women's test series, and especially in the World Cup as well, because that will just be even better. And I'm just that, test cricket, ultimate dream. And then obviously the World Cup would be incredible as well, just to be part of anything that involved with the England team.
So basically you're just like, I literally, give me some cricket and I'm gonna play it, please.
Yeah, just give me any cricket. I'm happy to be a part of it, happy to play. I'll do whatever you want.
You need a player on your beach team? I'm in. You need an international player? I'm in.
Exactly.
Cricket online? Count me in. I'm in isolation.
Yeah, so like even at home, and if I go watch a cricket game with my friends, I'm just I want to join in. Like, I want to have fun. I want to give advice, but I don't think that would be okay because I'm a coach as well. So that's just also one of my passions. I love kids. I love coaching, and the fact that I'm in a position where I have the same kind of role. I can help kids, but also play cricket. That's just is amazing to be in that position. So
it's the dream.
It is really the dream. I mean, hopefully I'll be playing cricket more than coaching and have a full-time job. But later on, hopefully I'll be able to do both, really.
Well, that seems like quite a good place for us to sort of start and wind it up, because you're getting calls from other people. So, whatever, someone's just in demand. But we like to round off. We like to round off some of our chats with a few quick fire questions. And one of Hannah's favourites is, what is your favourite sledge?
Favourite sledge?
And I don't mean one to go down in the snow, because that would be, you never know, you might want a toboggan or like a actual sledge. But yeah, what's your favourite sledge?
I don't think I think it's more if it's like a personal joke or like a nickname, I feel like that's quite funny. But I'm not a sledger. I'm not a mean person. Not mean, but I wouldn't purposely hurt someone's feelings just to get them in their head. I might give a little chat, but not sledging.
That's all right. We'll accept that. What's your favourite tea item at a standard village cricket tea?
Oh yeah, the little cocktail sausages. And then egg and cress sandwiches. They're my favourite.
Well, Izzy Wong thought we meant what's your favourite tea item, and she said a spoon.
And a mug. And a mug.
And a mug. So, you're doing better than Izzy Wong.
Oh, classic.
Last series you binged?
Squid Game.
Last book you read?
Actually, Sex Education.
I'm on
season 3.
One. I need that one.
So it is quality. It's the best season so far, definitely.
Favorite genre of music?
I really like R&B, kind of R&B pop, a bit of, I know it's a bit I like a bit of Chris Brown, but I don't like him as a person. I like his music.
Favorite place you've ever played cricket?
Oh, Lords.
Touche.
Definitely.
Yeah. And favorite wicket you've taken or person you've hit for a boundary?
Or I would say when I was younger, when I was about 15, 16, I got both Lydia Greenway out and Tammy Beaumont bowling. And that was like my favourite moment of bowling. And then what was the other one? Batter.
Favourite person you've hit for a boundary?
Oh, she hated me for saying this, but Kate Cross. I hit her for a 6 over, I think it was during the Kia Super League. I hit her for 6 over mid-off, and she hated me for it.
Favourite musician?
Yeah.
I love Ed Sheeran. I just love him. I think he's incredible. Yeah, I am a very under the covers JB fan as well. But
I'm not under the covers JB fan. Give me some JB. Why not?
Yeah. I feel like people judge me.
Nah, no judgment here. I sang the Hoedown Throwdown word for word yesterday from the Hannah Montana movie, and I was like, I still know the dance moves. So as you can tell, there's no judgment here. Well, I think we'll round it off with the Hoedown Throwdown there. That's an isolation activity for you. You can go and learn that one and teach it to your new teammates. What an icebreaker.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And then you can get Lottie to come and judge the competition and you can win again.
No. Oh god, that would be so embarrassing. But yeah,
amazing.
Go.
Yeah, Maia, thank you so much for chatting to us. You're doing amazing things. I'm so jealous that you're in Australia, even if you're locked in a hotel room being fed through a cat flap. Obviously, we'll all be watching you do your thing and star of the present, star of the future. You're stuck with us now. You know, we're women's cricket. You play women's cricket. You literally can't extricate yourself.
I live women's cricket.
And that seems like a good way to round it. Maya lives women's cricket.
Thank you guys for having me. It's been great to chat to you.
It's been amazing
No worries.
to chat to you.
Massive thanks to Maya for coming on and being a guest on the podcast. And if you want to follow her on social media, on Twitter and Instagram, she is at Maia Bouchier. It was really lovely to sit down and talk with her about her experience of the 100, what it's like coming into that England setup as a new player. And not only that, to see her be so open and honest about what it's really like juggling a university degree while in a pandemic, as well as playing cricket, and the toll that took on her. And to all our listeners, if you want to keep up to date with everything we're doing, you can follow us on Twitter at WCricketChat, on Instagram at Women's Cricket Chat. And if you want to give us a like on Facebook, we are Women's Cricket Chat. If you'd like to give our personal Twitters a follow, then it's at Hannity1194, at GeorgieHeath27, at CassieCoombs98, and I'm at Alex Jane Pereira on Twitter. This has been Women's Cricket Chat. Tune in next time.